Hey everyone, and welcome to another GTA Online video here on the channel. Today I want to talk about odd jobs. We know Rockstar has been loving adding these in the game over the past few updates. We have various delivery jobs with the armored truck deliveries, the pizza delivery, the paperboy missions. We have firefighting jobs now, which are pretty cool, forklift operators, the list just goes on and on. However, there are still a few core odd jobs that we don't have yet, some of which have been a staple of the mainline games, so it's shocking that we don't yet have them. And so I want to talk about what those are and how they could work in a modern GTA Online. So the first one, you may have guessed it, Vigilante missions. Now I get we have the dispatch jobs through Vincent that could kind of be called the replacement for Vigilante missions, but I don't think so. I think they are very, very different from each other. The Vigilante missions on the older GTA games were ongoing, meaning you could chain them over and over again with no cooldown to them. When you completed one mission, you were immediately tasked with the next objective. And for the most part, it was just you hunting down enemies using a police vehicle, whether that be enemies in another vehicle or just a group of enemies at a certain point on the map that are causing trouble. We have so many cop cars that we can officially own now in GTA Online. I want to actually use my own cop car to chase down other vehicles. I want to have police chases, because the stupid thing about the dispatch work with Vincent is that the cop car serves as only a trigger for the mission. So a lot of the time, you'll just spawn in the cop car, start the mission, and then call in your Sparrow or any other faster vehicle to go to the objective, and that's just lame to me. I want to use my police buffalo like the one that's in the drip feed, and have police chases, pit maneuver the other vehicle, and blast them like in the older GTA games. And they could get really creative with the missions too, so that's not just, hey, go to these enemies and get them out of the vehicle or shoot them. They could still have those missions, of course, but maybe you have ones where you have to go to a location to stop a robbery. Pacific Standard, I think, is still unused in free mode at this point, so that could be a location for a mission where you're tasked with going there and just taking out the bad guys that are trying to rob the place, I don't know. Or maybe they could do a raid mission where you breach into a house and take out the enemies in the interior, kind of like how in the firefighter missions you go into a building to save the person when the building's on fire. It could be similar for the Vigilante missions where you breach into a house and take out the enemies inside. And for a reward for completing this odd job fully, in the older GTA games, it made your armor more effective, so your armor was able to take more damage. I also think making armor like 50% more effective in GTA Online would not be that overpowered. But maybe if you disagree, an alternative they could do for a reward for completing the job at max level is to let us finally hold 10 of all armor types at once. As it stands right now, we can only hold 10 of a single type, except for when Rockstar gifts us armor for the holiday season, then we can have 10 of all types at the same time. So it is possible for the game to allow this, but for some reason the default is that we can only hold 10 of one type at a time, and I think that's just stupid. So this would be a good way to not only bring that quality of life feature to the game, but have a good reward for a fan favorite odd job returning. Moving on to the next one, once again, if you play the older GTA games, you probably know what I'm about to say here. The Paramedic missions. This one is just obvious, and I'm kind of surprised that this isn't one they initially added when they first started adding in odd jobs to GTA Online, because it really could be as simple as the taxi work, but you're just picking up people and bringing them back to the hospital, and you're in an ambulance instead of a taxi, obviously. That's all it was in those old GTA games, and it was perfectly fine in those games. But maybe if they do want to take it a step further, if they want to make it more advanced for GTA Online, I know for a fact that 5M has tons of animations that they could use for paramedic activities, let's just say. So maybe they let us like revive people at a certain location instead of just them getting in the back of the ambulance. There's so many ways they could take this job to make it more advanced, and I think that's a perfect way to do it. And there's already a paramedic outfit in GTA Online that's existed for a very long time now. It's used in the Doomsday Heist in one of those setup missions. So that's one obvious reward that they could give us for completing all of the paramedic missions. But another reward for a permanent boost to our character stats, make our natural health regen 50% faster and up to 75% of our max HP instead of 50%. Without snacks right now, the health regen rate is extremely slow. And I know with all the buffs to snacks that most of the time you will never be in a situation where you don't have snacks that you can just spam to get the full health right away, but it would still be a nice bonus to have that extra health regen. Right now, the only way to get your health to regen naturally to 100% is to be near a CEO when you're a member of the organization, so they could keep the 100% health regen tied to that, but at least let us regen at a faster rate and up to 75% of our max HP instead of 50 like it is now. That, along with a paramedic outfit for us to have in our wardrobe so that we could wear it anytime we want, would be just fine for a reward. Now for the last one. This was one of my favorite activities in GTA San Andreas, and I believe this was only in GTA San Andreas too. They never had it in any of the other GTA games. I'm talking about the burglary missions. It's not technically a legal job, but I still consider it an odd job because it's just a side activity you can do to make some cash. And here's how they could make this work in GTA Online. They just add in a spawn point for a black box filled somewhere on the map, just like in San Andreas. They could put it in some secluded area, but it wouldn't be a vehicle that you could just enter outright. It would be like the skydiving activities where the vehicle acts as just a prop, but then there would be a blue circle next to the truck where you enter it, and the screen fades to black, and then it spawns you into a truck of your own, which then acts as the mission vehicle that you can go rob places with. Obviously, you'd only be able to access this activity at nighttime between like 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., let's just say. And GTA Online has so many property interiors that they could utilize for this. The stilt houses, the shitty apartment, the medium apartment. Those ones I don't even remember the layout of because I've owned all high-end properties for years, and I'm sure many of you watching are probably the same way. And what was cool about doing this in San Andreas is you could actually go into the Vinewood Hills and rob those houses too, and they had just nicer looking interiors than the lower end houses like near Grove Street and stuff. They could do that same thing here in GTA Online where you can rob the lower end houses or the higher end ones because they also have different interiors for the lower and higher end houses. Maybe the higher end ones also have better loot in them for you to take, so it's worth more, but maybe they have security systems in place like cameras that could detect you and it would make it harder for you. And you could still keep the noise mechanic from San Andreas the same because GTA Online also already has a stealth mode where you can crouch walk or stealth walk as they call it in this game, and that would work perfectly fine here. As for the items that you'd rob, instead of taking old box TVs or stereo systems like in San Andreas, because that's all stuff from the 90s that people don't really have just out anymore, they could just have us rob things from drawers, or maybe higher end places have trophies or paintings to steal alongside just cash laying around. I don't know if there's animations in GTA Online already where our character is like picking up heavy objects and carrying them, but maybe they could add those in for us to carry like TVs out. I actually think this would have the potential to be one of the coolest side activities in the game depending on how much effort they wanted to put into it though. Just the dynamic of being able to choose to rob the lower end houses for less valuable things with less risk, or going into the Vinewood Hills and trying to rob one of those very nice houses, but they might have, security systems in place to make it harder, but they have better loot at the same time. And maybe another mechanic they could add is you can disable their security system ahead of time before you go into the house. There could be like a little hacking minigame that you do before you break in. That would be really cool too. Or they could potentially even let us rob apartment buildings around the city with the lockpick minigame that they have. And there's also an apartment interior from one of the single player missions that's unused in online right now. Maybe not the higher end apartments because that would be a little bit less realistic, I think. But the lower end ones, sure. And they also have a lockpick minigame that you may have noticed if you've made custom missions. They allow you to use that lockpick minigame, but it's also in one of the missions from one of the previous updates. I can't remember which mission it's from, but that's how you get into one of the houses. You lockpick the door. There's just a lot of potential with an activity like this, and it's why I've been wanting it to be added to GTA Online ever since they started adding in these side activity odd jobs. For a reward for the robbing odd job, I don't think they would have a unique outfit for this one because they could just have a general ski mask outfit that already exists in the game. We have plenty of ski masks and dark clothing. And they honestly don't really need a permanent stat boost for our characters for this one, like the Paramedic and Vigilante jobs have. The only reason I think those should have permanent stat boosts is because it's a callback to the older GTA games where they also had permanent boosts to your character. Just money alone would be fine for this one, I feel. Not every odd job needs to have those stat boosts. Anyways, those are the 3 odd jobs that I want to see added to GTA Online, and considering there is likely just one update left for GTA Online before we get GTA 6, hopefully they show up in that DLC. Otherwise, we have to hope that they're in GTA 6 Online at that point. Let me know which odd jobs you guys want to see if I didn't mention it in this video already. And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like, as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.